Hey guys, my name is Big Tina and welcome back to From the Depths, and welcome to a kind of unexpected battle. It appears there is some White Flayers base left somewhere that's still producing fleets, or else they had fleets just sort of around. I do have some White Flare mopping up left to do, but they are attacking this base up here. And thankfully I was able to build one of our new Cornugons in time. I built one there, and I've also built one down here, which is also very soon going to be under attack by the lightning hoods. So we're going to really be stress testing the new Cornugon today. And that's what we're going to do. So let's get right into it. Oh, yeah, let's turn our time back to regular speed. All right, so I hope this thing works as well as it seemed to in testing. Because if it doesn't, well, I've kind of put a whole lot of resources into something that's not going to work. So let's give it a go. Now, there is one of the rocks still here, so, you know, that'll be helpful, possibly, maybe, kind of. And let's see how this goes. Now, I'm a little worried about the land here. If you remember a couple of episodes ago, we were attacked by lightning hoods up here, and the land was very bad to skimmers. So we'll just sort of have to see how this goes. It'll be very interesting to see how the Cornugon does against the White Flayers, because they have those melee ships. Hopefully, the Cornugon will be able to outrun them. But let's get into it and find out. And, ooh, I may have made a mistake there by keeping the battle size on maximum. But if I did, I can always just lower it, which is cool. Alright, if the frames don't pick up a bit, I am going to lower... Yeah, alright, give me one moment. And... Alright, let's see, this thing is 45,000, so I'll lower it to about 90,000 so we can be about even. That'll take a few things away. Let's actually lower it a bit more, just for the sake of our frames. And, well, I guess you can't take ships out when it starts, but it does look like things are going pretty smoothly. It's not too terrible. I did do a lot of settings adjustments, so hopefully we will have some good performance. And that is a lot of UI, so let's take that all away. Alright, let's have a look here. The rock... Poor, outdated rock is doing the very best that it can. At the very least, it is able to dump its torpedoes into the water, and hopefully that's going to help us. Let's see. This thing, I believe, is the Thresher. Is it the Thresher? This is the Longinus, which is very long. Aptly. And hopefully we are faster than it is. It looks like it's going to be close, if nothing else. If that thing gets to us, we might be in trouble, but it does look like our laser is doing a lot of damage there. Man, this is a pretty colors fight here. We're just sort of covering ourselves in bright flashing lights. Alright, it does look like it's getting behind us. We are outrunning it. We are taking a bit of damage here. Looks like, well, the Cornugon's only at 99%. But let's see. Longinus down to 95%. Alright, that's pretty good. And guess what I didn't do? I didn't set firing restrictions on where this thing can aim. But thankfully, it can actually fire past the bridge, which is pretty cool. I guess because the laser is so precise, it can just fire through those gaps there. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't set the firing arc restrictions. The poor rock is just having a hard day over there. And it does look like the Longinus is far and away the most expensive ship they have at almost 305 or over 305,000 points. So hopefully once we take this thing down, we'll be in good shape. Now we are down to 97%, but this ship can go and go and go without too much problem in terms of damage that it takes. Now if we take too much damage on the thrusters, then we might lose a thruster, but that's actually okay because we have so many spare. And also you can see this thing has a ton of armor and shielding around the thrusters. I noticed in testing that because it was so fast, a lot of the shots were hitting the back. And so, well, I just sort of really heavily armored the back. Oh, there's the poor rock back there. At the very least, it's acting as a distraction. And it looks like the Cornugon has decided that a different target is more dangerous to it at the moment. Well, I might agree, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it doesn't look like the Longinus here can keep up with us. It looks like it might be a skimmer in the same way that we are a skimmer. Wow. Yeah, well, it's got the hydrofoils on the back there. In fact, it looks like this is a somewhat more elegant solution to the water skimmer problem than the very brute force approach that I took with it, which is just covering the bottom side in these lovely, lovely hydrofoils. But it does look like that is giving us a slight advantage in terms of speed. The Cornugon is sort of stabling at 97-98%. This thing does have some good repair to it. I'm really hoping it can turn fast enough to get away from that mountain there, because crashing into the mountain would be terrible. It looks like we are going to avoid it, if narrowly. Now, somebody did suggest that I use the sort of the tank method. Ooh, okay, hang on. Before I go into that, I'm going to very briefly need to take manual control over the Cornugon, because it has changed targets, and it's going to ram itself into the wall there, which I did not program it to avoid. So let's just make sure we avoid it. Okay. Looks like we have lost thrust from one of our engines there, which has brought us down to about 74 meters per second, which is fine. And oh boy, this is cutting it close, isn't it? We might scrape the side here. Everybody hold on. This could be bad. Hopefully we just hit the bottom. Oh. Ow. Oh my god, that did an enormous amount of damage to us. Alright. But we survived it. Carry on, Cornugon AI. Oh, it is right behind us, isn't it? That is horrifying. This thing certainly corners better than we do. So what I was saying is that somebody recommended that I set up the thrusters to where when I'm turning right, the right two thrusters turn off. When I'm turning left, the left two thrusters turn off. And I did actually originally set up the ship to be that way. But what I found was, because it's turning essentially all the time, it's making all these little micro adjustments, that it was never going straight ahead. It was always going, it was always turning one side or the other, which meant that its speed was terribly, terribly reduced. Well, not terribly, but essentially reduced by half in order to keep up with that stipulation. And that just wasn't good enough for me, because that cut our thrust down to where we were going at maybe 60 or 65 meters per second. Whereas this way, our turning is a little lessened, but it also means that we can go at our full 90 or so meters per second all the time. Now, unfortunately, with our lovely collision there, we did actually lose one of our turning thrusters. And so our turning is done entirely by this backup turning thruster, which is, well, it's doing nothing. And so we seem to be making a hasty getaway from combat. And so maybe that wouldn't be a terrible idea. Although, if I did do that, then obviously this evil, nasty, scary ship back here would be able to keep up with us, or not keep up with us, catch us, which is much worse. So, you know. Alright, well, it's already back online. Yeah, see, I know the custom jets get a bad rap, because if any part of them is damaged, the entire thing shuts off. And that could be kind of unreliable, but I do find that, at least with a large ship like this, you have enough space to protect it. Obviously, you know, there's no protecting it from user error, which is what we'll call running into a mountain over there. But for the most part, you know, the thrusters seem to be okay. They seem to be able to survive pretty well. And it looks like we have turned back to fire at the Longinus there. Let's go take a look. See what our guns are doing against it. Yeah, we could just see tons and tons of explosions, internal explosions going off on the inside there. The laser absolutely slices through these enemy ships. We're back up to 95%. The poor rock is down to 75%. And it looks like we have shut down the Longinus, at least in terms of its pursuit. A little bit of a frame loss there. That probably means something big exploded somewhere. Hopefully it wasn't the rock, although I've sort of given up on the rock surviving at this point. Let's take a brief moment to survey the battlefield. I'm pretty sure the Longinus is out of the fight now. We have sort of opened it up and scooped out its innards. Let's see. This ship looks like, yep, it's having a bad day. I'm not too concerned about that. This guy, oh yeah, well, it looks like it had weapons at one point and no longer does. This is an enemy fighter that seems to have been hit by probably a missile. This little guy seems okay. I mean, there's a little hole in it, but it seems okay otherwise. Oh, and here's the rock. Ooh, well, you hang in there, buddy. You do you. And, okay, so it looks like we're winning this pretty handily through the valiant efforts of the Cornugon. And it's very, very powerful, very accurate laser, which I am liking more and more the more I see it in action. Now, one thing I was thinking of in this game, in terms of recording, is just turning off the game's music and then adding my own music in. Now, I would use different music from the building episodes, and obviously that wouldn't replace my voice or anything, but I find that, interestingly, with the new mic, there's less or no static and no sort of ambient noise going on in the background, and it's very, very quiet when I listen to my own videos, and I'm not sure that I like that. I mean, I suppose apart from the consistent purr of these engines here, it's just a very quiet game. And so I think I might do that. But, you know, ow. Well, something got me. There's always that stray bullet that comes through the cockpit there, the bridge. Yeah, let me know what you think about that idea. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun, and there is some nice freeware music out there that I could use. Okay, we're just gonna ride on top there. I'm sure that'll be safe. No problem with that at all. And okay, it does look like we have pretty much wrapped this up. Now, I am going to pause it briefly here because I get to showcase these Cornugon missiles, and I wonder if they're fast enough to hit this thing, or agile enough, rather. They are not. They are not agile enough to hit a fighter. Well, one of them, nope, one of them came close, but alas, nope. I guess, to be fair, this is a small target that is moving very strangely. It's impressive it's still in the air at all. But, hey, they're coming back around, and there's some hits. There we go. Okay, so never give up. Oh my, don't ram each other, please. Oh, don't ram each other, please. I swear, the most damage that has been done, I think... Yeah, I think the Cornugon just sort of jumped over the rock there. That was great. Good time for that bounce. Yeah, definitely the most damage that was done to us in this fight was via collision, which I guess is sort of unsurprising. And to make sure that doesn't happen again, let's just turn off your engines there, buddy. I said turn off your engines there, buddy. Is what? And then you were supposed to stop. And okay. Alright, we're going to spin around. I hope you're enjoying this lovely first-person perspective of a wheel turning. But yeah, it looks like we've pretty much wrapped this up, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over to after the fight is done. Alright, we are back, and we're under attack by the Lightning Hoods. There is a crossbolt and a Hypatos, whatever that is. which is 350,000 materials. The crossboat's only 98,000. But the crossboat is also on the land here, because we are fighting in this lovely Deepwater Guard area, which has a bunch of land. Now, soon as I start attacking the Lightning Hoods, I'll be into this lovely open water here, and everything will be great. But until then, I have my Planetar here, which will be way, way, way back in the back. And I have the Cornugon, which I will be manually controlling, because I do not trust the Cornugon to, you know, not blow itself up on the land like it did in the last fight. So let's get to it. And there we go. Alright, pausing. The Planetar will be on combat. Cornugon will just be on so I can control its movement. Hopefully the crossbolt is able to do something on land. Nope, you are definitely a boat. You are 100% just a flat-up beached boat. That's a cool-looking ship. I like the... It's a very steampunk kind of broadside it's got going on here. That's pretty cool. I always approve of that kind of thing. And it's got the little back deck there. That's pretty cool. I like it. And this is the Hypatos, which is the thing that the first Lightning Hood ship that we fought, the thing that looks like a UFO, that we beat after a long, drawn-out fight using the Kraglenorm. So let's see, hopefully, our new Cornugon will be able to take it out much more easily. Alright, let's get to this, and I will be driving the Cornugon myself, because it does allow for manual control. I did build it for that. I just don't normally manually control things because I like to see the AI in action, but here I just have not programmed this thing to function in between land like this. Alright, let's... Looks like we're getting some hits, but it looks like we're also hitting it in the back there. There we go, there's some more hits. A bunch of chunks coming off there. Looks like our laser is falling just a little bit behind it. We are hitting it. We are hitting it. Okay, so I was worried. It looked like before it was falling a bit behind. It might actually have laser shielding there. It looked a little bit like our lasers were hitting a shield, but I'm not sure. And oh, you know, that's right. I am manually controlling this thing. Right. Yeah, no, I am a competent pilot. Worry not. Looks like the Planetar is getting a bit bullied back there. Yeah, it's down 5%. Planetar does, thankfully, have some decent shielding. And also lots of smoke protection. Okay, now I know I'm missing a lot of the fight going on back there, but I need to turn it around. I think what I'll do in terms of turning this thing is I need to add some turning to the back section as well so that it can turn faster. Now, because it's a skimmer, this thing can actually turn in place. It does not have to be moving forward in order to turn, unlike a normal boat would have to. But yeah, it's not graceful, I would say, at turning. And you know, Cornugon, how about you shoot the crossbow? How about you do that? How about you shoot the thing that's immediately shooting you and immediately setting off an explosion in the crossbow? That sends it launching into the air. Now, what might actually happen is I might launch this thing through explosions back into the water, and then it would actually be a threat. But it looks like we are already putting some hurt on it, and I promise I will take our camera angle up to see what we're looking at as soon as I get us wheeled around. Okay, we have immediately killed the crossbolt because the Cornugon is set to ignore salvage, and it just immediately started ignoring this ship. I mean, unless its AI took over, which it may have, but I'm not sure. No, it's not dead. I think. Kind of hard to tell there. Alright, firing once again at the Hypatos there. Ooh, looks like the Planetar's AI was taken out. So it's still just floating there. Yeah, we're definitely falling behind on the laser. I may need to balance out the lasers, what's it called, the detection system, so that it's able to keep up with those targets better. Although it looks like that was a hit that did some damage there. Our missiles are coming in, although I'm not sure they're going to be quick enough or agile enough to hit this thing quite yet. They're going to make a good effort at it, though. They're homing in. Nope. A little too short-ranged. I think they might eventually have caught up. But not now. Not this time. Alright, yeah. Our laser is lagging behind just a bit. Of course, this is a very, very fast ship. This is me moving the camera at full speed, and I'm not able to keep up with it. So it is, of course, a very, very fast ship. And it is just sort of spinning around us at this point. But the Planetar's back in action. Looks like it only lost about 1% health. Probably a little more than that. But part of that 1% was its AI. And it looks like the Hypatos is targeting the Planetar once again. And yeah, the crossbow was defeated there. I'm not sure how much damage. Okay, yeah, we're definitely racking up the damage. You can see at the top right there that the laser damage is going up, which is great, which means we do have sustained fire on it. And its laser is just absolutely doing nothing to the Cornugon. The laser shielding on the Cornugon is very, very thorough. And I did actually, between the last episode and this, go back in and add some internal smoke dispensers. Smoke dispensers around important components, but that are still far enough away from the offensive laser that they're not going to get in the way. And alright, I think we may have slowed the Hypatos down a bit, because now our laser is just hitting right through it. And that was a particle cannon shot from the Planetar. But again, this is the exact right enemy to fight against the Planetar. A fast-moving, heavy flyer that could just sort of get around it. Because the Planetar, you can see, is covered in smoke, which is great, but it's going to have a hard time maneuvering itself around to hit the target well. Because it does have some turreted weapons, but its primary weapons are forward-facing, and it's not an agile craft by any stretch. Though it looks like we just took off one of the Hypatos's cannons, one of its weapons. So hopefully we have damaged it. Yeah, it is definitely slower now because my camera can keep up with it. So let's see how we're doing. Let's pause, see how we're doing. This looks like an enemy ship from XCOM or something, which is a good, one of my favorite games of all time. Both the original, or actually I like Xenonauts more than the original XCOM, I think, and the remakes, XCOM and XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen, all those are just phenomenal games. I love a good turn-based tactical game. Alright, we are still just sort of chipping away at this thing with the laser. Yeah, the Cornugon is definitely doing better than the Kraglenorm did in terms of fighting this thing, but it's still not perfect. It's not a quick kill. Oh no. Oh no, it's going to go down over here, across the mountain. Oh boy. Alright, well, I had better start driving over that way then. Okay. Well, I think we can safely say that I have won this fight. Yeah, because now now my missiles are actually going to be hitting it. Now the Planetar's main weapons are going to be hitting it. And in fact, I'm going to let the Planetar do its thing and show you that rather than the long trip it would be to get around the mountain here. Because the Planetar's firepower is pretty brutal. And that is a lot of balloons to get this thing out of the water. I guess it would need a lot of balloons, because this thing is probably very, very heavy. But I don't think balloons will save you now, Hypatos. A lot of the shells coming in. Planetar back to full health. The balloons bouncing up and down, sort of messing with its targeting parameters. Let's see. Yeah, it's at about 80% health. But yeah, it's just gonna float there, I guess, or possibly sink. Yeah, it's not in the process of dying right now. So yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and call it here. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut the episode here as well. This was just our first battle, our first real couple of battles using the Cornugon, and I am pleased. I am happy with how it performed, especially in that battle against the White Flayers. I feel like this battle was weird and didn't showcase a whole lot, but that battle against the White Flayers really showed the Cornugon's strength. It was able to get away from even their fastest melee ships, and it was able to just absolutely gut them with its laser. And even fast ships, very fast ships like this thing, weren't able to get away from its laser. And its laser defenses are strong enough to protect itself from enemy lasers like that. Ooh, that was a good hit there. But yes, I will leave you here as we slowly whittle away at the Hypatos. I'm melting. No. I love how the cannons look like they're confused. Like their eyes. They're like, what? What's going on? Where am I? No. What's going on? No. Alright, well, with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.